Go. And welcome in, everyone, to episode 16 of Turnbuckle Talk. And what a weekend it's been. It's been a fast-paced weekend. We've had our PLE of Bash in Berlin, another Friday night, and a Monday night to remember. Anyway, join with me is my co-host, Santastic29, opposite us over there. How are we doing today,
What's up,
Robert?
everybody? I'm doing good, my man. How are you?
Good. Yeah, not too bad. It's been a
good to be back. I know we had
week.
obviously last week off.
Yep.
Kids are back at school on a personal level, which is good.
Oh yeah,
a bit more adult time. But yeah, like you say, good week all round. I think SmackDown was a little bit better last week than it was previous weeks.
Yeah, the best SmackDown before a PLE for a long while.
Well, I mean, we've said it before, haven't we? And SmackDown is just when you don't involve the bloodline or something of that equal significance. SmackDown is just meh, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very lackluster. How do you draw the ratings on something when you don't involve your top draw, basically?
Well, this is it, and we were discussing this just a few moments ago in the fact that, you know, I see why it makes sense with Randy going over to challenge Gunther because of what happened at King of the Ring. They needed to hash that out, and, you know, the fans wanted to see that again. But like I say, you've got your top draw. When you look at SmackDown, I instantly think your top draws are the likes of Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton. Why would you send one over to Raw? I mean, I understand it. Like I say, I understand it from that perspective. They had to hash that out. But yeah, they need to bring Randy back and get him heavily involved with something. They need to have some direction for Cody versus Kevin Rhodes. Although it was an okay match, the reasoning behind it of Cody, oh well, I respect you. You can appreciate it to a degree, but there's just no backbone to it.
I don't even respect it to a degree. I just think it was pointless. Like, it's a whole, I don't want it. And then Cody's just
that kind of put a wash into it, didn't it? Yeah. It kind of put a wash into it.
There's no exciting build up to it. It was just like, if you look back at titles when they're in their prime, no one has just gone, oh, I respect you, so here's a title match.
Yeah, it was a case of, I'm going to come and whip your ass. I'm going to stomp a mud hole in your chest.
Yeah, it's always been earned. Like, if someone wanted that title shot, they've gone through grueling matches to get there. They've battled through tournaments of hard degree.
Kevin Owens, and the fact that Kevin Owens has said, I don't deserve it. I haven't earned it. You know, is saying something, and so it just shows, doesn't it, from that side of thing, the lack of direction that WWE are having with Cody Rhodes, and the lack of forward planning they have for him, and the amount of storylines that they are or do not have.
Yeah, literally, like in that moment with Kevin saying, "Oh, I don't earn it, I don't deserve it." Cody should have put something on it to say, "Well, go through, like, I'll give you a match against whoever, X, Y, or Z, or go through, or a gauntlet match or something, and then
absolutely
prove, and then that way you can prove to me that you do deserve it by winning tournament.
That. Have KO come out on top. It doesn't even have to be Cody that sets it up. Have Nick Aldis set it up as the GM.
Even if it's obvious that that Kevin was always going to win, even at tournament, but make it worthwhile. Give him that opportunity.
I mean, because now that he's gone through Kevin, there is only one, and they're pitting Solo to be the next one again. And yes, he didn't beat Solo clean. He had the help of Roman Reigns, but in order to keep the bloodline strong, that has to happen. Nobody is going to beat Solo clean in order to keep the bloodline story strong. It just can't happen, because with the bloodline being that fearsome and having that much insanity and tenacity with the members they have, Solo can't lose clean. It's just that simple. So where do they go now? I mean, they're saying that it's going to be Solo and Cody at Bad Blood. Speculation is Roman is not going to be at Bad Blood with the current storyline.
So does that mean then that someone like Randy is going to end up interfering, and then you're going to get a story of Cody versus Randy like that.
Well, I mean, potentially there is that option, isn't there? You could run that option, and I think that's the most obvious option that a long-term fan base want to see. For those that have watched Randy Orton for a long time and know the history with Randy and Cody, that's what people want. So I reckon Randy looked like he was kind of having a heel turn against Gunther. What I would like to see is him come down at Bad Blood and save Cody, but then turn round to Cody and say, "You don't deserve that title. You can't win it without me."
And at least there's a backing of the story behind it. Like there's actual
something
meaning
along
to
those lines. Yeah, exactly.
what
and
we're
it's
going
kind
to
of
get.
Randy. Yeah, and because Cody has made it known, and if you look at interviews between the two of them, away from the ring and kayfabe aside, just as two wholesome people, they're both in tears in interviews where Cody has said, "If it wasn't for you, I would never be where I am."
So let's make this personal.
If Randy could turn round, exactly. If Randy turned around and said, "I'm disappointed in you. You have just shown me what everybody else was thinking, and I should have seen it too." Somewhere along those lines, you can get a massively heated rivalry, and the two would work great together. And Randy deserves that opportunity, and I think he deserves to be the one to take it from Cody. Yeah,
a personal level rivalry for Cody and his new direction. Like it's perfect. Like let's make it heated. Because it works, and these two are so experienced in the game. Like give it to him, because Roman has not got any eyes on Cody whatsoever right now. His intentions all towards the bloodline. AJ Styles is done for that type of match now. LA Knight's got his US title.
Yeah.
So
Kevin Owens has gone through. There is only Randy. Done. If Solo doesn't win, which he theoretically shouldn't, then it's Randy all the way, isn't it? I mean, you've got Bad Blood, then you're going to have Crown Jewel. They'll put on some novelty match at Crown Jewel because the Saudis will want it to happen. And then you'll come into January and you've got Royal Rumble, and it should be Randy wins the Rumble. But it's not going to be. Let's face it, John Cena was going to win the Rumble, I think. But if they have Randy and Cody at the Rumble and John Cena win the Rumble, they can have Cody lose to Randy, and then you can have the Ultimate Mania match with the rekindlement and the reignition of Cena and Randy rivalry at Mania.
Yeah, see, that's got to be the end goal. Like even for WWE standards, no matter what,
it's up there. Surely,
Cena cannot end his career in just a standard one-on-one match against anyone. Like it's got to be perfect.
Yeah, and his rivalry with Randy, if you look back at like 2008, 2009, that rivalry was just absolute insanity, and by far one of the best rivalries you'll ever see. And they worked so well together back then. And if you have Randy turn on Cody, he's already a heel. So going against Cena as a heel, it's already in place. It's the perfect way to tell that story at Mania. You've got 2 nights of Mania. You can have Randy and Cena, have Cena headline Mania for the last time.
Definitely.
What's not to love about that? And I think that could be the way they go, because like you say, who else is there? AJ's done. LA Knight's got his run. Escobar and Mello are having their feud, but they're looking towards more the United States Championship side. Owens is done, but he's still going to be involved in the bloodline because he's got this ticking time bomb in his head that he wants to kill them all.
Yeah.
It's got to be Randy next. From a point of view from SmackDown, it has to be.
Yeah, there's no
other than the novelty match that they'll do at Crown Jewel.
Who will they do for the novelty match though? Because Logan and Cody have obviously
done it.
Done. I don't know.
It's going to be difficult.
That's up in the air.
It'll be. Yeah.
Or will they just do a champion versus champion?
I mean, maybe Cody versus Gunther would be good. You got that storyline from when they were both at the Rumble, and Cody won the Rumble twice in a row, and Gunther was a strong standing in both Rumbles. Maybe,
but yeah, like I say though, that's further down the line. We've got
it is further down the line, so we've got Bad Blood coming up, which is going to be hopefully amazing. there's a lot more to unravel looking forward. But I would say from a SmackDown perspective with Cody and the lack of direction, there's only one direction. It's Randy Orton.
Yeah, 100%. But from Friday SmackDown, though, I did enjoy the LA Knight versus Ludwig match, though.
It was a great match.
And I love that it was just finally, let's put the US Open, a US title match, as an open match. Like, who is coming down? I mean, yeah, it was probably obvious.
We all knew it was going to be Ludwig, yeah, of course. But
it was
great for him in his home crowd. Great match, put on a hell of a show, yeah.
And the respect at the end was great.
United States champion. I like him as US champion. Looking at him the way that he is now, everyone was rooting for him to beat Roman and become, the megastar as the WWE champion. And I think this was the right way to go about it. I think we all knew it was going to be Cody in time. And I think LA Knight as a champion is establishing himself in WWE. Yes, he's a bit older, but this could lead on to that championship run for either the WWE Championship or the World Heavyweight Championship.
Well, yeah, and as for Knight as well, though, it's great for his challengers, especially who they're setting up now in order to elevate not just himself, but also these guys, because Andrade's in there. Mello and Andrade with their little rivalry that is going to lead into a US title of some sort. But and then you've got Escobar that's hovering around on the wings.
He's a shit, isn't he?
It's enjoyable now that they're starting to finally balance out the mid card, but they just need to sort out that top tier.
That's exactly right. I totally agree with you.
It's
and even
a mess.
now, like we said, you look at the women's side of things, and you can see Tiff every Friday, every PLE. She's edging ever so just a little bit. She's taking a little step forward to cashing in on Nia. It's going to happen at some point. When, we don't know. But to see Bayley come back with, stopping Tiff while Nia is fighting Michim, it's going to be interesting to see what they do there, because obviously Bayley is going to be in the picture somewhere because she's going to have a rematch clause. I
get that, but I do like the way that they're pushing Nia, though.
But there's also speculation that Charlotte Flair is back soon. Now, does she go to Raw, or do they have her on SmackDown? If they have her on SmackDown, that'll push the ratings up.
Yeah,
which will help with the lack of story for the men's division right now.
I think you need Charlotte on SmackDown because at the moment, with what's going on Raw, she won't fit in anywhere. No. It won't make sense. So bringing her over to SmackDown, and then because obviously it's more of Nia's gone through everyone. So who's next? And then Charlotte's music drops.
Charlotte's always been known as the Queen.
Yeah.
And Nia is now the current Queen of the Ring, the Queen of WWE, as she's calling herself. So it only makes sense that if anyone's going to come back to challenge her after she's taken out everybody, that
why
the
not
Queen
be Charlotte
herself, 17-time champion, comes back.
Because you're not getting any
17-time champion Charlotte Flair is now.
That's mad, isn't it? When you think about it,
more than her dad's. Dad's 16 times, so more than her dad. More than Ric Flair.
That is crazy though. Like when you think about it, like how long is she? Like just how long has she been in the business for it to do that? Like you're talking about Ric Flair, who had, he's just literally he's been in there his whole life.
Yeah,
and then obviously,
but then she's grown up around it her whole life as well. I mean, obviously her.
Yeah, but she didn't come into it till quite late.
She didn't come into it until quite late. Yeah, she was developing everything backstage because she did other stuff beforehand. Because I know that David, his older son, he had a contract. He was actually United States champion in WCW years ago. He had a contract with them because he had a storyline with Tori Wilson. Reed, his youngest son, was a Greco-Roman wrestler. I think he committed suicide a long time ago. And then I know that Ric Flair's got another daughter as well. That is just nothing to do with the business. But yeah, she was doing other shit before she came in. But, you can't deny it. You look at her and her match with Rhea, and they are two of the very best There is, and a lot of people say, "Oh, you know, we've seen enough of Charlotte and Becky and Charlotte going back and forth for the titles." But who else is there? When you're limited or you have a great set of talent, but they're not quite up to the same level of the likes of Charlotte, and you know, I don't even want to say Sasha Banks, because Sasha Banks has always been useless, and since she went to AEW, she's a hell of a lot worse.
Yeah, she never lived up to the billion.
No, she didn't exactly. But yeah, so speculation that Charlotte's coming back, and it would make sense that she comes as the queen for the queen.
Yeah, and there's no movement yet as to them pushing Jade Cargill or Bianca Belair that way at the moment.
And
they're keeping them.
They've just regained the tag championship.
Yeah,
so
they're keeping them in that area, which is good because it is elevating some more of the women's tag teams on both brands. So
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
working. It's working, but yeah, that's
exactly right.
And then obviously, yeah, then you move on to Bash on Saturday.
Yeah, what were your thoughts? So I was a bit late to the party because I was
the
out.
actual matches were good. Like the matches were, but the stories behind the matches, or a few of them, they just didn't have it. If you take out the Terror Twins, versus Judgment Day, and Punk versus Drew, you've got a basic PLE we've just got a basic match card, and
it's
five
just a Monday
matches,
or a Friday night, isn't it? Yeah.
But 5 matches, it's so useless. It's not great.
I think WWE have gone the other way, haven't they? So AEW, we look at AEW and they like 15, 16 matches at PLEs. It's too much.
That's too much.
Then WWE 5 or 6.
It's too little.
7. You could easily hit 7, and I think it'd be a perfect number.
7 or 8.
I think it'd be perfect. Yeah, 7 or 8 would be a great number. You know, because they could easily do it. It's if they included the tag teams. You know, if they included like the Bloodline defending against DIY, or Judgment Day defending against, I don't know, LWO or somebody like that. You know, you could have a great solid tag team match for tag team championships at a PLE, even if it was seen as a seat filler, you know, a time slot filler or something like that. People would go mad for it.
It's still giving people, like, spectators and their value for money. Like, they're there to see wrestling, and if you're giving them 5 matches, that's rubbish. It's terrible. Like, they're paying a lot of money to go to these shows.
Yeah, and this is the thing: they're not cheap. You know, when they came to Glasgow to do Clash at the Castle, I looked at tickets because I thought, I've got a bit of extra money in the bank. I could probably get a couple of tickets and go and, you know, have a hotel or whatever. It's just ridiculous, mate. The prices, you know, people locally were in the newspaper saying we're being outpriced, so we physically can't go. They're bringing it to our town because they want us to show up, but we can't show up.
It's the same with even house shows that have come over here. Like, you're looking just for a standard seat in, like, not even standing at the back. You're still looking at nearly £100 for that ticket.
I know.
That's without travel.
Not cheap at all. Yeah, exactly. And then depending on where you go in, like you say, you got travel, you got accommodation, you got food. It's a lot.
If I'm paying, sorry, go on, carry on.
No, I was just going to say, if you have got, you know, I put it this way, I can't imagine. He must have some sort of contract with WWE. Can you imagine the amount of money Green Shirt Man spends going to shows
like that? There is rumours though that him and the because you got, is it Trinidad and Tobago guy as well that sits next to him?
Yeah.
They've got links within WWE now, which is obviously why they get to go around, because
they've been doing it for years, haven't they? But
yeah, I mean, like, they're a promo now. They're in that market for themselves in the WWE, so it's.
But it is like you say, you know, they come round, especially like the likes of the UK or Germany or somewhere like that. They come around once a year to do the house shows. Like over here, we typically get them the end of September and then November time, right? And they'll go to like the O2, Nottingham Arena, stuff like that, Manchester. So they're all these big cities that, for a lot of people like myself, they're all over an hour or 2 hours away. So you've got, a couple of 100-mile drive, then you've got parking, which is normally 25, 40 quid, anywhere between that sort of range when you get on site. And then, like you say, you pay 100 plus quid for nosebleeds.
Yeah, and if I'm paying that much money, I want value for money, and 5
Yeah, of
matches
course you do.
is not
Absolutely
value
you
for
do.
money
No,
whatsoever.
not at all. And if you look at the people that sit in front row and that are paying, thousands for a seat, that is not value for money at all. And I can understand it with the likes of Mania. You get 2 nights, you get the Mania build up where you can go meet the stars and everything before the show kicks off for the couple of days before they do the VIP experience. But again, you're paying extra for that, which I understand. But not a lot of people can do it. My ultimate dream would be to go to watch Romania, to fly to the States and stay over there for a week or 2 weeks, and in the middle of that 2 weeks have my time at WrestleMania. I'd love it. I don't think it's ever going to happen.
And not at the current rate of pricing.
Not at all.
But yeah, it was just. But yeah, like going back to it, but it was a very average PLE in sense of
It was. You're
just
not
weren't
wrong.
invested into the stories of some of the matches. Like I enjoyed, like I say, I enjoyed the Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes is with actual wrestling was great.
Yeah.
Like it was actually
Well, I think
fast,
we always knew
energetic.
that was going to be. Yeah.
But I wasn't invested enough into it because you knew Cody was winning no matter what.
Yeah.
And the story built like the build up was just terrible. Like it was, there was no,
Yeah, it was just
there was no
matrix, wasn't it? It was like,
yeah, there's
exactly.
no bitterness between them. There's nothing there.
But
it's just
the
all
one
about
thing I
respect.
liked,
But
the one thing that I did like was you could see the temptation in Kevin Owens' face with the heel turn. You could see during the match he was like, "Do I batter the fuck out of this guy? Do I power bomb him on the apron and do what I used to do? Do I unleash that killer instinct, that Owens fight mentality?" So that's a snippet, hopefully, because I love heel Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is my favorite Kevin Owens.
Even if you push the band back together for a little while in Kevin Owens and Randy Orton to go for the tag titles, just for
I'd
a
love
bit,
that. I would love that because RKO work well together.
Stir the pot a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the thing, and it keeps in ties with that bloodline. Cody could help them win
because, and then also, and then you had the women's tag match, which, to be fair, was pretty entertaining.
Yeah,
I think the outcome was right as well in that sense. In letting,
yeah, I mean, I think
although I
it
was
was going to happen.
surprised
I
by
think
it.
we always knew it was going to happen.
Why I was surprised by it
honest.
is I thought the Jade and Bianca angle would come to loggerheads and the egos would start to take over, but
we said this.
We're not seeing that yet.
When they first got put together, didn't we? We saw a case of this is going to be these 2 big, strong women that have been singles competitors. Jade was a long-term champion in AEW. Bianca's a multiple-time WWE champion. Eventually, the egos are going to clash and the storm is going to start. But yeah, no, they've worked well together, and I like where they're going with it. Hopefully, they'll keep it going because that is going to add fuel to the fire for the women's tag division. And now Lyra Valkyria has just teamed up with one of her old friends. What's her name? It's not Blair Davenport. Somebody else. But that would lead me to believe that they're going to maybe start a tag team as a duo.
Yeah.
And maybe get involved in the mix.
Yeah,
which would be good because it's a fresh team, it's new faces that people would have only likely seen on NXT. And if they bring that to the main card, fantastic. And the great thing is, again, with the women's tag teams, it's show to show because there is only one set of titles.
Yeah, and to be honest, like at that level of what they're fighting at, so obviously it's just a standard mid card for a women, like for the women's tag titles. So there's no risk. Like, the risk is very low if they don't perform.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're shoving them all into the top women's title, so obviously against your Nia or your Liv, then if they fail to obviously live up to that level of expectation, that risk is very damaging to everything in terms of ratings, popular, like that character. Just so much could go wrong. Whereas, yeah, getting them at mid card level and pushing them against the better team all the time, you're going to start to make a few more stars in the women's division, which is what it needs. You need a couple
exactly, and
more.
that's what I'd like to see. And you know, you've got Sonya Deville coming back with Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. They could get involved. Zelina Vega needs somebody to team with. God knows who they would put her with at this point. But she'd be great to team with someone and go for the tag team championships, or at least have a tag team run and go against the trio of Baszler, Deville, and Stark. Create a bit of a storyline there for them.
Yeah, I'm surprised in that there's not really a Latin team, really, like a Latina.
Well, I mean, the only
trio.
person that you could really put her with is Raquel Rodriguez, but obviously she's gone back to taking time off. Not sure why,
And then,
or if she's coming back.
Yeah, it's a shame, really, because that would just be a nice little add on to a WWE in that sense of the women's division.
But overall, I think it was a fairly good match. It was okay, but again, not massively invested in it. Not massively invested in it at all. And what's disappointing for me is obviously I was out on Saturday, so I came back late and started watching the PLE a bit later and watched it. You know, I caught it from live, and then I went back afterwards to watch the first couple of matches that I had missed. But when we watched SummerSlam, when we had our watch party and Discord and stuff like that, and people join us and everything, you and I are normally texting back and forth. You know, oh my God, look at this moment, that moment, or normally with Boss and whoever. I really wasn't. I didn't pay a huge amount of attention to the PLE itself because I wasn't massively invested. I think, and the main reason I even watched it was probably because of the Terror Twins with Liv and Dom. I was, I'm into that storyline. Drew and Punk.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the main reasons I wanted to watch it.
Yeah, and Cody and Randy, and they're really the only fights. They're really the only matches that I wanted to see. But not Cody and Randy, Pinter and Randy. I apologise.
The Drew and Punk match was great. Like, you can literally you can feel yourself though how intense that rivalry is, and just what it means to both to put on a great show for the fans. And I love the little touch by Punk of his attire, wearing it. His that attire from his last ever AEW appearance.
Yeah,
he went that way, and obviously that was the last match that he won on live telly, and now he's won again. So is it 10 years later, 11 years later
10.5
in
years.
WWE? Yeah.
10.5 years, yeah.
And obviously it levels that series at 1-1 now.
Yeah. And he said post interview to Kathy Kelly, he said, I'm done. Me and Punk are done. I'm going for Gunther. But then skip forward to Raw. Obviously Punk had a completely different idea in that and didn't agree.
Drew absolutely decimated him. But yeah, we'll skip onto that in a minute. But yeah, I've really enjoyed that whole match, and obviously being a strap match, it's a bit more fun because it's not all about the pin. Like, you've obviously got to go to all four corners, and it's great. It worked great with this match because Ego and Obsession took over for both of them, when obviously they could have just easily touched all four, but it was sort of like, no, I've just got to beat the absolute living daylights out of this guy.
Look at Punk at the end leading up to the win. He hit three GTSs in between hitting the turnbuckles. He hit one, hit a couple of turnbuckles, hit another, hit turnbuckle, hit another, and then finally goes. But then before he grabbed the last turnbuckle, the determination and the heart and everything, doesn't it show? And it, like you say, it adds to that storyline because it is the case of I am more determined now than I've ever been to kick the shit out of you and to take this. And then obviously the nice little touch that he stole his bracelet, didn't steal it, he took it back before he hit the last turnbuckle to beat Drew. I think it's the
But he looks
rivalry.
good
Just
though.
I think he
Punk
did
actually
look good,
looks.
and
He looked good in that match.
I said
Like,
this to my son the other day because my son said, "Oh my god, CM Punk's back." I said, "Yeah." I said, "If you go back and watch the Royal Rumble, he looked like shit. He didn't look ready to come back physically. He didn't look like he was in the right place to come back." And I think putting him with Drew was such a good move because he's had to step his game up because Drew is one of the very best in the world right now. He is operating on a level, miles above a lot of people. And for Punk to get back to that level shows his dedication and work ethic and what he's done to get back up to that. Because you look at the difference between January and now, he is 100 times better than he was when he came back.
100%. And also, don't forget, within this set rivalry itself, you've still got Seth Rollins somewhere. Like,
Now, he's
Seth
obviously
is
out.
still,
He's sidelined, injured at the moment.
but Seth is still to appear and turn the heat up on this rivalry because obviously he's got beef with both.
Yeah, and I think they're going to get to a point where this rivalry is really at boiling point and can no longer, it can't get any hotter between the two of them. And then all of a sudden, Seth is going to come in and he's just going to fuck shit up.
Like, it makes sense. Like, I don't think you can take anything away from him.
Does he come back at
interfering
Bad
in
Blood?
something? That's what I was thinking.
Is there going to be? Is there going to be a big match? Yeah, yeah. I think so.
Like a hardcore match. Drew versus
It'd be like a cage
Punk.
match or something, and fucking Seth will like climb into the ring over the cage just to be in there and kick the shit out of them both.
Just literally tear each other limb from limb. And
I'd love to see that happen. I'd love to see him come back. Yeah, the three of them would put on, I think, probably one of the best matches of the year.
I would agree so.
Yeah, because Punk and Drew get on backstage on a professional level. They're there to do a job, and the same with Seth. Seth doesn't like Punk. He's made no bones about that. He's never held that as a secret. But he is one of the most professionals. One of the most professional people they have there, and he goes out and does the job because he loves it. He wants to put on a show for the public. And the three of them,
it, though. That's what they have to do. Like, it's not all about them. They're there to do a job for the fans, and it doesn't matter if you love or hate the person in front of you. Like, this is your job.
Yeah,
do it properly or get out the door.
Absolutely, and they're going to kill it. However it happens with Seth getting involved, I'm here for it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. What were your thoughts on Randy and Gunther? I thought it was a relatively good match. I liked it. I thought it was good. A lot of people have been
the wrestling. It was. You had your vintage Orton, and then you had your general, your ring general,
your ring general.
But they put on a show. Like they done everyone proud, and then they also they didn't let up, and it ended very interestingly.
I think the ending was good. Like I said to you earlier, I think to have Gunther beat Randy, but Randy not tap and not be pinned is great for Randy, but it's also great for Gunther. It solidifies Gunther a bit more as a world heavyweight champion because he can beat the likes of the Viper, but it also solidifies Randy as a badass because he didn't give up and he wasn't pinned. It just so happened that Gunther got the better of him with that submission, but he never gave up. He didn't tap. He didn't quit. He just got put to sleep. And I think it was a good way to end it.
Well, it leaves it open-ended, doesn't it, though? Because it's like, you can't beat me with my shoulders down, which you've proved. You've had to cheat, basically.
Now you can't make me quit.
Or the only way you can defeat me is by choking me out, which anyone can do to anyone, so to speak. Like,
in the right with the right movement in the right moment. Yeah, absolutely.
But
I thought it was an okay match, like you say. I don't think it was the best match. It's not the best I've seen from both of them, but they worked well.
Because it's just the build up and the story just wasn't really there. It sort of just happened quickly.
Yeah,
Like the wrestling side of it, it was great. but the story that goes with the wrestling brought it down because there wasn't really a story.
No, it
Like,
wasn't. I mean, Randy
you
coming
had the
out to Raw.
outcome from King of the Ring or
Yeah,
King and Queen of the Ring, and then you left it for so long, and then you brought it back out 2 weeks before Bash in Berlin. So
yeah.
like, you just let it go stout. You've not even mentioned it once since then either.
No, but look at what
So
happened. That was the same with Gunther when Gunther beat Priest, right? He disappeared for weeks after winning King of the Ring. And then he's mentioned only 2 weeks beforehand, and then he comes in and wins. I mean, it makes sense with Randy going after him because of, one, it's Randy Orton. Two, he didn't get beaten at King of the Ring. So he wanted to get that mark off his tab, so to speak.
yeah.
But yeah, like you say, I think it could have done with a longer build up. Both of them are great at promos. And if they had had a couple of extra weeks, I think they would have built the intensity up a little bit more, and the story would have just been that little bit stronger to back up the skills that they both have in the ring anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Which is a shame because obviously it's two great
Yeah.
wrestlers, but when the story doesn't live up to the wrestling, the story will always bring it down because that's what
Yeah.
people remember more than the wrestling
Well,
itself.
and that's it, absolutely. And you have to have that heated element, regardless of whether it's from the heel side or the face side. You have to have that heated element. You have to have that hatred to draw people's emotions in, to get them emotionally involved and want to root for people and that atmosphere builds the match because people feed off of that in the ring. The wrestlers themselves go, oh shit, let's get hyped up. The crowd are into this. We're going to give everything they want. We're going to listen to the chants as we beat the shit out of each other, and we're going to give them exactly what they want.
Yeah, exactly. And then from that, which obviously leads into a story-filled match of the Terror Twins going up against Liv and Dirty Dom, which
it's a good match.
Was great because Priest has gone on to another level.
Yeah,
even
Priest has
without the
elevated
belt.
himself massively. Yeah, absolutely.
Ray has always been at a top level.
Yeah,
Dom
she
as
hasn't
well
stopped.
is on the
Slow.
Dom's always been on the up for a long while now, and
Dom's been on the up since the day he entered Judgment Day, and he hasn't stopped. That momentum has just jetted him up to where he is, but he doesn't show any signs of slowing down.
Nah, and then Liv is just seen the level that she's got to reach, and she started to push herself that further. Like she's having
she was
to
always
work
at a
her
good
socks
level,
off.
But she's obviously
to match that
enjoying
energy.
it, isn't she? Yeah,
I mean,
and they're all obviously enjoying the storyline.
It is an enjoyable storyline because it's got it all in it. It's just got twists, turns, like stabs in the back. It's got snakes. It's got everything that you can think of in that story. And
I was just so happy to see Rhea get her hands on Dom because every time she's gone to get her hands on him, Liv has been there to pull him away. So the fact that she managed to get a couple of smackdowns on Dom was great. Because that's what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for Mummy to kick his ass a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it was the right outcome.
Yeah,
in my eyes, like it just. But
it's
to
not
be
the
honest,
end of it, and that's what I love about it.
Either winning would have been great, but I just wanted.
Yeah,
I was always backing the Terror Twins to win because I prefer.
You have to, though, don't you? I mean, it's hard for me because I love Mummy, but I love Liv, and I love Dom, but I love Priest. So I'm kind of caught in the middle. But you look at it from a fan standpoint of view that I like both. Like you said, I would have been happy with either winning, but I think it was the right result, especially for the storyline, because now Liv's going to be pissed that she's lost to Mummy, but she's going to say, "Well, you can't beat me without Priest," and then it's going to go back and forth. But I want to see Priest one-on-one with Dom.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make as much sense because Priest is only there to fight Dom for the fact that he's helping Mummy. Priest, in the long run, his eyes are set on Finn because Finn was the one that stabbed him in the back. So I want to see that happen. That's got to happen at Bad Blood, surely. Are they going to build that for Bad Blood? Because there's no sign of it at the moment. Because obviously, fast forward to 2 days ago, on Monday Night Raw, after Bash in Berlin, Priest is in action again against the Judgment Day, but this time none other than Jey Uso, Mr. Yeet himself, Mr. Midcard Jey Uso.
who
brought in
was
by Mummy,
recommended, yeah,
nonetheless.
which
Who
I
said,
like that
"Somebody,
though.
I've got the perfect person."
Which makes sense because obviously he's always been like putting
Tell
like
Mummy, she can call me. You know what I
teasing,
mean?
yeah,
Yeet.
literally teasing towards
Yeah, yeah,
doing something to Mummy or stealing Mummy or just anything. Like he's always got his toes in that water,
yeah.
and yeah, like for it to come out and it was again though, it was a fun match. It was literally,
I think
I
when
enjoyed
you've got
it.
an Uso in there, it's always going to be a bit fun because even Jimmy adds a fun element to the matches. You can tell that. And I was watching. I couldn't help but watch it again. It came up on my suggested shorts or reels on Instagram, and it
Yeah.
was the interview from when Cody and Jay won the tag team titles. And obviously they weren't due to do press conferences, so they'd been drinking on Cody's tour bus. And then they got called out and said, "You're doing an interview," and they were drunk. And it's like the best interview that's ever happened.
I mean, it was a great interview. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, that's where you
Like
came from. It started at that interview.
it was just so funny. Like
I know.
just
But had Jay not
you
got
know what I
drunk that
mean.
night,
You know what I
do you
mean.
feel him, sir? Do you feel him, sir? That's what Cody says, and it cracks me up. But yeah, again, like you say, fun match. I think it's great, and I really want to see. We still haven't seen much. If you look at the Judgment Day, we still haven't seen
Yeah.
much involvement with Ray and Carlito. We've seen Ray going up against Dom, but Carlito has not really had his comeuppance for stabbing them in the back. Is that because he's been too well protected by the Judgment Day? I don't know.
Yeah, well, you also had obviously LWO gunning towards Carlito, saying obviously you'd never accept him back and how much they hate him. So, and then obviously you had LWO against Judgment Day last week on Raw. So
Yeah.
they're sort of edging themselves back in towards the frame, possibly, but at the same time, the Judgment Day are aiming at destroying the Terror Twins. So it's like
But where does
it's
Jay fit
finally.
into this long term?
I don't think he does. I think it was just a moment of that because obviously next week he's got the IC Fatal 4-Way match.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously he's going to be involved in that. There's still ways of him possibly entering the Bloodline saga.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we still haven't seen Jimmy come back yet. Roman obviously had his brief couple of appearances, but then took the shield bomb through the table and is now pitted not to come back for some time. So it's just, I think they're stuck. I think they're stuck with Jay, and they don't really know what to do with him. They've got this guy that's got all this hype. He's called Main Event Jey Uso. He's gone back to upper mid card. He's still having fun and putting on great performances, but they don't really know where to go with him. He's kind of getting lost in the shuffle, isn't he?
Yeah, and also though, does he win this IC Fatal 4-Way? Because I think Dragunov probably takes this
I'd love to see Dragunov win it, and
because
it's nothing
there's
against Jay at
actually
all,
a
but Dragunov,
story
yeah,
with Dragunov and
she was big history there, and then you look at Dragunov before, you look at the history back in NXT, and then you look at the history when Dragunov was fighting Sami Zayn and Bron Breakker was getting involved because he was left out of the initial tournament, and he was
the
getting
same with
really pissed.
taking out. He was then destroying Ricochet,
Yeah.
who was protecting Dragunov. Like, yeah, there's just more of a story there than Jay
Yeah.
winning and then losing to Bron Breakker. Like,
Yeah,
there's nothing
exactly.
there, is there? There's no.
Right.
There's never
And
been any
there's
crossovers.
a couple of stories that on Raw that are starting to take shape. So you got the IC Championship. Obviously, you've got Braun Strowman's advanced. You've got Jey Uso's advanced. You've got Dragunov's advanced. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top to become the number one contender and go up against Braun for his first defense after Sami.
Like, if you're likely looking at it though, it's going to end up with just Jay and Dragunov squaring off because Bron Braun Strowman's obviously got a bit of heat with Bronson Reed, so there's probably a
Bronson
chance that
Reed is now out because he's got COVID-19. So he's actually been ruled out. I've been seeing stories on this today to say that he is out indefinitely for however long because he's got quite a bad case of COVID-19.
So, and then again, also though, with Braun Strowman, you've
Just double
still got an
checking now, actually.
outside chance if it isn't Bronson that, like, the Judgment Day screw it up for him.
Yeah, medically unable to compete in Raw. I don't know when he's due to come back.
So yeah, that's. But then at the same time, obviously Pete June, Sheamus is going to come
Pete Dunne
down
is
and
just going mad, isn't he? Yeah,
Dunne, June, whatever. But
I don't. But what's his gripe against Sheamus? I still don't understand it.
It was his mentor, and then he just upped and left, didn't he? So he left them all
He
in
didn't up
limbo.
and leave. He was injured.
But I think that's what they're building it as. That
right.
He left them.
But then
he
why
left
isn't
them
he
to
attacking
rot.
Ridge Holland then? Because Ridge Holland was taken away from Pete Dunne and put in NXT. So why isn't he attacking Ridge
Sheamus is
Holland?
the bigger one to look at to elevate yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. But then what's going to happen when Tyler Bate comes back? Because the only reason that New Catch Republic aren't still a tag team is because Tyler Bate had major shoulder surgery. So what happens then? Is he going to go on a rampage and attack Tyler Bate as well, or are they going to put him back together?
Who
as
knows?
New Catch Republic?
I like this.
They're a great
this
team
side
together.
of Pete Dunne. Like he's
always
aggressive
loved
side.
I've always loved his aggressive side.
Pretty fierce.
When he first came to WWE, he's
very
mad.
unhinged.
Yeah,
like very unhinged.
And he plays the part so well. You can see it in his face that he's unhinged just by looking at him. You're like, yeah, this guy knows what he's doing. But he's so talented as well. He's so talented. They could do a lot with him. But then we've seen it so many times over the years where, you wouldn't be in the WWE if you didn't have some kind of talent. Whether you're lower card, mid card, upper card, you've got to have talent and work your ass off to get there, regardless of how much TV time you get. You've got to be good enough, obviously. But Pete Dunne's one of those people that's been lost in the fold. He could have quite easily had a really good United States run, tag team championship run,
think he
run.
He got stuck in that that roundabout of tag team turmoil and sort of just left in that. And I think the best thing to happen was Tyler Bate getting injured or having the surgery, and then him dropping down to next to have like more wrestle time, which has helped him.
Some people that needs,
You look at him when he comes back up, and obviously he gives good matches on Raw, and also taking out Sheamus all the time. I mean, you're going for the Celtic Warrior. You're not exactly going for a small fry.
No, absolutely. He's going for one of the biggest fish in the pond, isn't he?
I was gutted though because I wanted Sheamus to progress and become the ultimate.
I want Sheamus to be Grand Slam.
But
Sheamus to be Grand Slam. Yeah,
it's still not happening.
He's still got time. He's still got time, and I would like to think that Trips will do the right thing and go, yeah, we need to give Sheamus Grand Slam.
Yeah, I know, but
most definitely.
Because
how many people? If you look at it, we've spoken about this before. There's a few Grand Slams, but there's only a couple of Ultimate Grand Slams like that.
No one.
Everything.
There's no one.
Yeah, there is. Surely there is. Seth Rollins.
No, Sheamus has come out and said that he would be the first ever Ultimate Grand Slam champion.
Seth Rollins has been IC champion, hasn't he?
I don't think he has. No, United States champion.
Roman's
had the Intercontinental title.
No, I don't think he has. United States.
No, he hasn't.
He had.
Or was it Dean Ambrose that had that?
Dean Ambrose had it. Yeah, because Dean Ambrose was one of the first Grand Slam champions after The Miz.
But so Sheamus would be the first ever Ultimate, which is every single
to win literally everything. Yeah,
great for like overseas wrestling, though, like European, like for the European scene, in the fact that obviously the first ever guy to.
So what title is Randy missing out on then? Is that United States?
No, has he been United States champion?
I don't know. It's either United States or Intercontinental because Randy's been
sure.
Tag Team Champion. He's been World Heavyweight Champion. He's been WWE Champion. So there's only one title there that Randy can't have won, and that's either United States or Intercontinental. And I've got a feeling it's United States. I may be wrong, but I've got a feeling I remember him with the IC Championship back in 2003 before he won the World Heavyweight Championship off Chris Benoit.
God, I've typed that in wrong because it's brought up tennis.
It's brought up some really dirty sites, hasn't it? Because you typed in Randy. Preempted what you're talking about. I'm typing it in there as well.
Yeah, so so are they classing? Oh, that's a bit of a weird class if they're classing like being Money in the Bank, Royal Rumble winner, Slammy winner, and a King of the Ring winner.
So he has won his United States Championship.
I'm very interested in that, to be honest.
Intercontinental
I need
champion.
to look at it. Yeah, Sheamus wants to be first Ultimate Grand Slam champion in WWE. Piss off, don't really pop-ups. Right, the Ultimate Grand Slam champion is someone who has held every title on offer in WWE on both SmackDown and Raw. And Sheamus is missing just one. It says, although Edge has technically accomplished the task already, Sheamus disputed it given that the Rated R Superstars United States title reign was with the WCW version of the title.
Oh, shit, yeah, of course it would be.
So, yeah,
I'm pretty sure Randy's won. Randy's got to be an Ultimate Grand Slam, you know. Apart from, unless, well, yeah, if you're including Money in the Bank, then no, I don't think Randy's ever won Money in the Bank. So that's all he would be missing. He's won the Royal Rumble.
Every title on offer on both SmackDown and Raw.
But Randy has been World Heavyweight Champion. He was the youngest World Heavyweight Champion in the world. He beat Chris Benoit. He's Intercontinental, SmackDown Champion, United States Champion, World Champion, WWE Champion. He's done it all.
Just having a look. Well, that's what it said there. That was on
I know John Cena's the same. John Cena's the same as Sheamus. He's one away. He needs the IC Championship.
Yeah, Cena's never held that, which is weird actually, to be honest with you, because I know, but I suppose when he was become obviously Mr. WWE, he was the IC title was on obviously Raw, but he was gunning for he was always WWE champion.
Yeah. He never won the Universal Championship though, Randy.
So there you have it.
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Madness. I thought he would have been it. And the same with Rollins. I thought he would be it already, but clearly not. I mean, Grand Slam by all means, but Ultimate Grand Slam. It's the same with Finn. Finn's Grand Slam, but he needs the World Heavyweight Championship to be Ultimate.
Yeah. But yeah, so like I say, Sheamus, he'll get there, but
it'd be nice to see him there. I mean, because Miz was the first Grand Slam champion in WWE, I think. So someone like Sheamus.
Now Miz is sort of like taking a back seat, and he's more getting into.
He's getting more into hosting, presenting. Yeah,
I hope to see him on commentary one day as a commentator, like a bit like what Wade and Corey have done.
Yeah, well, they've got the new commentator now, haven't they? He's just started. He's going to be as of 2 days ago. As of
Cole's gone to SmackDown until Netflix, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah, that's right.
obviously, listening to Raw on Monday, how much, though, does he sound like a young Jim Ross?
Who's that? Sorry.
The new guy.
Oh, yeah, he does, yeah.
I was
But I
like,
don't mind that, you know.
no. I was just like,
Jim
wait,
Ross is...
what's going
Yeah,
on here?
Jim Ross
I thought he was
is...
back.
I saw a poll the other day, actually, to see who the greatest commentator was, and it had the likes of, you know, Gorilla Monsoon. And do you know one commentator that I always really liked? Not now, but growing up before everything was, you know, was out on the table. Vince McMahon was amazing on commentary. If you watch Vince McMahon like back in the late 80s, early 90s, he was great on commentary. Loved him. Absolutely loved his commentary back then. But, you know, and so this poll had JR, Michael Cole, King, Gorilla Monsoon, what's his name? Josh. He's now at AEW. Josh something. I can't remember. Josh Matthews. But for me, do you know who's the greatest of all time for me?
Go on.
This is going to be quite controversial. Michael Cole.
I mean, it's not much controversial, to be honest with you, because
I mean, I don't
he's
know.
been
Most
through
people
it
would say
all.
King or JR. I think that's why. If you look at where he started with WWE, you look how long he's been there. You look at what he's done, what he continues to do. He is the very best of the best.
I do like as well, though, that the fact that some ex-wrestlers turn commentators, it works.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, Barrett's not doing a bad job, actually.
an
I quite like
unpopular
Barrett as a
opinion, but
commentator.
I enjoyed JBL as commentator just for the
Fuck
fact
that
that,
man.
fact though that everyone hated him, and he would always be able to stir shit up because no wrestler liked him.
Yeah, but and it works well, and you have to have that color commentary. You have to have that love hate, like you will do with a baby face and a heel. You have to have that. Like you look at Corey Graves and Pat McAfee when they were on commentary together. It works so well. Pat just wants to be friends with everybody. Corey just wants to be on the side of the worst person possible. And it works well. But yeah, no, and there's speculation. I don't know if you've seen it, but the speculation is coming out retirement. He showed up in TNA a week or so ago to stand face to face with Dolph Ziggler or Nick Nemeth.
Yeah, I see that earlier. Literally, I was looking at.
So the speculation is there's photos of him circulating around of him sat in the gym holding like massive bloody barbells and stuff, and he looks fucking hench. The man is a tank for his age. He really is. But I think he's a bell end. I don't like him.
But I think that's what worked well with his character, though, all the time, because he was just that stubborn American businessman after, obviously, the
I preferred him as
like,
Bradshaw. I preferred him in APA myself.
Yeah, like that. He was like, obviously, that was his brute days. He was the bodyguard. Everyone feared the APA, like. But and then obviously when he went off on his own and
it was his best work. JBL was
American
his best work
businessman that no one liked.
the
everyone
wrestling god.
Everyone
the wrestling
wanted
god,
to hate
the longest
him.
reigning champion ever for a while, wasn't he? Until John Cena beat him.
But then because he did good rivalries. Like he went toe to toe like Cena, Batista, Ray, Eddie, like.
Yeah, and Ray retired him at WrestleMania in like 16 seconds for the IC championship.
Great, excellent, but still, I don't know. Like
he did. No, as a wrestler, he's good. As a heel, he's good.
It's going to be weird without Cole and Pat both on Raw for a little while.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it's the right decision, though. Cole on SmackDown is going to draw ratings in because Cole alone has got a really big fan base. So I think that's going to help on that side of things. So it's a good decision for that reason. I think if they put Cole and Pat on SmackDown, ratings will just go through. I know Pat is loved by so many people, but he's equally hated, and I don't get it. I think Pat is amazing. I love the guy. I don't see why so many people dislike him.
I don't get the hate at all, though. I think he's such a great character, and like when you listen to his Pat McAfee show as well, he's just he's got so much energy to give. Like,
and that's what you want to see. That's what I love about him. The fact that he gets up on the desk and he starts yeeting with the whole crowd and with Jey Uso, and I love the fact that he always says something about Gunther. and then hides himself away. He's like the cocky kid that gets caught saying something by the
But he's
bully.
got and he's also got these funny one-liners that he can throw out about someone, and because he's got his background obviously is NFL commentating, so he
he's
brings
an
that vibe with
ex-NFL
him.
player as well, isn't he?
But he brings that NFL commentary vibe with him, where it's it just works.
This new commentator, I can't remember his name, but he's ex-ESPN NFL commentator, so that the similar, hopefully, to Pat, that he's going to be great. And I think the only thing that he's going to need to work on a bit is maybe learning more of the moves, a bit like Pat had to.
But that comes with time.
Exactly, it just comes with experience. That's exactly right.
The moves themselves don't change, but the names are always changing for these moves.
Oh yeah, the names always evolve. Yeah,
you've just got that's all you got to keep up with. But Raw was alright. I thought Raw was okay. I caught up again with it again today just to refresh my mind. Going from a slightly above average SmackDown to an average PLE, and then to a Raw. I think the highlight of Raw for me, you said it earlier, and I totally agree with you 100%. The altercation between Drew and Punk, and the fact that he whipped that bracelet and shoved it down Punk's throat. Oh, that was
just added so much insult to injury.
This is exactly where I'm going with in saying that obviously this rivalry is just so perfect because you can just feel the hate.
Oh yeah, absolutely, it is perfect, 100%.
And obviously Wade, you had Barrett getting involved in the sense of obviously trying to calm him down, but he just gave up. He gave up in the end, and obviously when it got to that point of him going back for the bracelet, and then they're like, someone needs to stop him, and then Wade's just like, why are you looking at me? I've done it. I've tried it. I'm not doing it again.
Yeah.
He's done.
I think the only way Wade would stop him is if Wade agreed, okay, I'll get back in and do a little bit of action, and I'll take a Claymore, but I'll throw a few punches, and Drew and I will go tit for tat for 30 seconds, and I'll take a bump.
It was just the way that obviously he took the bracelet, holding it like that, just ripped it, shoved it down Punk's throat. Punk got up and then just smacked him with a Claymore, add insult to injury.
And then he beat him up again when he was on the stretcher in the neck brace, raking his eyes out. Fucking hell. Drew is the definition of unhinged. If you look at unhinged in the dictionary, it is just going to have a picture of Drew McIntyre there at the moment.
It's great, though, because he works that angle so well.
Yeah, he does. And I said it to you months ago when this all started. He is doing his best work, and he's continued, again, like Dominic Mysterio, that momentum is moving forward with him, and he is enjoying every fucking minute of it, and fair play.
And he doesn't need a title in his picture to be great or to push him.
Neither does Punk.
But they can just do it without a title. They're set. They're ready.
That's what you want with rivalries, isn't it? You want rivalries that can be that heated, that they don't have to have a championship involved, and that they can create that story to entice you into watching and have you on the edge of your seat. And and that was the one match, other than the Terror Twins, it was the one match that I was so invested in watching. On our Bash in Berlin.
Yeah, the story just keeps going, and it just gets better week on, week out, week in, week out, because there's just so much. There's so many places it can go.
It's going to be interesting now to see how long Punk is out for. Before he comes back and fucking blindsides McIntyre out of nowhere.
I mean, it would be great next week though if you just give Punk, just give Drew that 10 minutes of promo without Punk, just to spice it up a bit more.
He needs 10 minutes. Give him 3 minutes and he'd fucking nail it. But yeah, I know what you mean. Just give him a couple of bits, sit him in the ring, have him explain why he's done it to Punk and why he's not done with Punk. And I think
not even that.
Like you say,
he could even just turn up with a new meme on his shirt of Punk.
Yeah.
Literally just stand in the middle of the ring, laugh, and walk out.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even need to say any words. Just put it on a t-shirt again, and let's do it that
That'd
way.
be funny, wouldn't it?
It's
I
great.
I haven't bothered to go on TikTok or anything for weeks, but I love all the comical shit Drew does online with his promos and stuff.
He's
And
great.
like when he took Punk out initially at the Rumble and did his triceps and stuff, and he was like, do arms so you're not as pussy as Punk. This is great.
It's great television, definitely. And
yeah,
like for Raw, like obviously you had like the Terror Twins and Judgment Day rivalry heating up, but
yeah,
the one thing I'm just getting a bit bored of now is Chad, the American Made, and the White Six whole rivalry.
I think so.
So answer me this, right? The White Six, are they just mid card? Is that their territory? Because this rivalry's gone on for too long. It's dragged a little bit, and they're not exactly looking or aiming towards anyone else on the roster.
As much as I didn't want this to happen, and I said this to you at the beginning, that the one problem is if they stop the momentum. If they do it wrong, it will crash and burn. If they do it right and they do it well, it will fucking rocket, and they will do it amazingly well. Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, is doing an amazing job as portraying Uncle Howdy. But yeah, I think whoever's doing the creative with it needs to relook at it.
They've killed it a bit. They've just made it.
Yeah.
It's not as fun as it was at the start.
Well, and it makes no sense that Chad is still kind of on and off with Otis.
That's what I mean.
Like he's still having segments with Otis, but then he is. I mean, but then he's all about American Made and Ivy Nile, and then you've got the White Six coming after them. Just have done with it. They've already beaten them. They keep coming out week after week attacking them. Why? It's a bit boring now, if I'm being totally honest. And this is what I said to you even before they debuted. I'm getting bored of it because they were just teasing it and teasing it and teasing it, and they got to the point of, okay, when's it actually going to happen, if at all? And I think that's the issue now. Is we've seen them in action. We've seen Joe Gacy, Rowan, and Dexter Loomis take on Chad Gable and American Made. They've beaten them, and they're still coming out week in, week out, going after the same people.
Oh, and now they're scheduled to have a street fight next week, aren't they? So again, it's.
But where do they go? Who do they go for if not Chad Gable?
That's it. They should have just, like they did. They done it. They took him out, and then it should have been left to Gable to then rethink his situation, and then obviously, like he has teamed with American Made to then take on Alpha Academy, and then obviously the White Six can then move on to someone else, but. They've just, it's like they've run out of direction, and they're just having to drag this out for the moment.
And this was my biggest fear with this whole collective of people, because you've got huge talents in that of Nikki Cross, Bo Dallas, Loomis, Rowan, and Joe Gacy. And if she is a part of it, there is still that speculation there and that hearsay that Alexa Bliss will be part of it when and if she comes back. And that was my concern. And unfortunately, it seems that that's the way it's going, because a lot of people, although they're still getting excited to see them on the screen, I think it's only because of Bray they're excited, in all honesty. If it wasn't anything to do with Bray Wyatt and this was a whole new storyline, we would just be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, it would have died even quicker.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a shame, but yeah, but and then, like I say, it's not just the White Six. It's a few wrestlers just for some reason that even though they're top tier, like your Codys, your Jays, like there's still no clear direction. It's as if like creative are scratching their heads week in, week out. Like, where do we go? What do we do with them? Like,
I think it's a case of being overwhelmed, isn't it? I mean, I think they look at the list of talent they've got. They don't want to get rid of the people they're using week in, week out, because they want to keep them in favour to push for stories and stuff, but they also don't want to just throw out somebody that's not been seen in 6 weeks for the sake of throwing somebody out and saying, well, here you go, we're going to use you. It's a difficult one because it's like this whole situation with Gunther and Sammy. I like that, if I'm being honest. You know how much I like Sammy anyway. But I like the fact that Sammy confronted Gunther and said, I think the reason that you're not saying anything is because you know I'm the only person that beat you.
And with that, again, there's a nice little story and a previous there. You can now build this, and then,
which is great.
With Sammy's actual character, he's more than happy to show he can earn this spot and take on Gunther rather than
workhorse.
What they've done with Kevin Owens and just giving it to him out of respect, because Gunther's not that person anyway.
No, and Sammy's a workhorse. He's always been the underdog. He's always been told that everyone's told him that he's not good enough. Can he win the championship? I don't know. Are they going to keep Gunther going a long time?
I think they'll keep Gunther a while, but this is a chance for this rivalry as well. This previous of it, they can now build on this, and obviously Sammy's promo work is great anyway. Gunther's promo work is great, so it works. They've shown in the ring as well that they can work well together.
And Gunther's got that scratch on he's got that blemish on his record, which
he needs to clear up. So
in his mind, he can't live with that. He needs to clear that up. He needs to even that out. Yeah.
The fact that you've only had minimal losses and one of them is still in and around the WWE constantly, looming over you. You've got to deal with your problems. You've got to prove that it was just a blip.
Yeah, and exactly that. It's going to be interesting, isn't it?
Perfectly,
it is going to be interesting.
But there's because Gunther just likes to wrestle anyway. He'll wrestle, and then obviously you can have Sammy come down or just watch on and distract Gunther and vice versa.
I think they'll bring him out. I think they'll bring him out and sit him at ringside on a chair.
And
Gunther do a bit of special guest commentary.
And Gunther, as we know, loves to just beat people down. Like he's done it with Sammy, didn't he? Before, so
he loves berating people, doesn't he? He loves to make people feel as little as possible, like they're worthless. But
he's great at it, though.
Yeah, he is. He is great at it. Absolutely. Look what he did to Priest.
And he's got the perfect partner in Ludwig that can back him up for it. Like them two have been
speaking
together.
Of that, have you seen the highlights for Vinci coming back on SmackDown?
Ooh.
Yeah, so he's dressed in
SmackDown, though.
Yeah, he's dressed in like white trousers and a red shirt, and I can't remember. There's they ran a vignette. Let me find it, and I'll send it to you.
So they've obviously rebranded him then.
Yeah, I think so.
That could be interesting.
Giovanni Vinci. They ran it 3 weeks ago, but there's still been no sign of him. And if I'm being completely honest, it doesn't even really look like Vinci all that much.
Do you know what they could do else. Though? With the whole,
what's that?
Like they've got enough wrestlers for it. They bring back the cruiserweight title.
Yeah,
like you've got enough wrestlers in that category to challenge
they did that
for
last
something.
Time, didn't they? They had the 205 live, which was the cruiserweight. You could only go up to 205, and you had the likes of Cedric Alexander, Enzo Amore, Neville.
But you've got the Triple H era now. You're bringing back old school pay-per-views. I'm going to call them now, but. So why not bring the cruiserweight title back? Like you've got like the likes of Kofi Kingston that could literally fall into that bracket. Rey Mysterio, like them two alone could help elevate.
Oh
these
absolutely.
certain stars into that cat. Like because if you look at it before, a cruiserweight title was still a really fun category, and there were some really good matches that was always involved in it.
If you look at WCW really pioneered the cruiserweight division. You know, when they were at their peak, they had the likes of Psychosis, Juventud Guerrero, you know, Eddie Guerrero, Chavo, Rey Mysterio, what's his name? But anyway, they had, you know, Dean Malenko, Chris Benoit, all these smaller guys that were just crazy powerful, crazy talented.
Because if you look at it, like, the cruiserweight guys are just stuck in a tag team going nowhere.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah, I mean, you look at like, the give them a little shake up, they'd both fit in there.
Yeah, got both of them. Like I say, the New Day, both. I don't know about Xavier, but Kofi would
Xavier
definitely
might be a bit too big. Yeah.
And then obviously Tyler Bate if he comes back. Yeah. When he comes back, like Pete Dunne could be in that bracket. Like there's again, enough there.
Is adding that bracket too much because they're already lost for so much direction on stories with people that are already existing and getting lost in the shuffle and the fold and being left out in catering and shit. Is that too much?
Well, I don't know, because at the same time it could then push the tag team titles up a bit more, because there's not constant stupid tag team matches week in, week out for no particular reason, which then might lead to pushing the tag team titles onto a PLE.
I really hope that when we go back to when they go to Netflix and they go back to, I'm going to call it the Attitude Era, because effectively that's what Netflix could be. You know, chair shots and shit. And I want to see that. I want to see somebody coming out like The Rock and calling somebody a fucking jabroni.
Do you reckon,
really riding people up?
Where you've said that, do you reckon then that's going to be seen as first appearance on the Netflix Raw edition? Because he's going to open the show with it being Netflix and just go back to being Dr. Thugonomics.
Oh, fuck me. Could you imagine? Because he was supposed to be a heel. Dr. Thugonomics was you know, supposed to be a heel.
Yeah, but why not give Cena a little heel run until his end of his career? Like he'll pull it off with sheer brilliance. Like,
I think he probably could, actually, to be honest. But it's a case of whether he wants to as well, isn't it? It's got to be all parties involved.
Like, will that be his first appearance back, and then lead into his Royal Rumble victory?
I've got a feeling, as much as I'm going to call it now, I'll tell you who will open the show on Netflix. It won't be John Cena, it'll be The Rock. They'll have The Rock open Raw on Netflix. But that's purely because not only is The Rock a huge name in wrestling anyway, but he sits on the board of directors with TKA. Why would you not have him open it?
Yeah, I see that as being, you're right, it is probably the most obvious.
It should be Triple H.
But at the same time,
if we're being honest,
with The Rock, there's only one direction for The Rock when he comes back, and he wants Cody.
Yeah.
So him opening on Raw makes no sense if Cody's tied to SmackDown.
I don't think he's going to open in the sense of be a wrestler, but just as from a management perspective, I think you know, this is the start of a brand new era. We're going to fuck shit up, basically. Wrestling is cool again, you know, basically, like you said when he came back originally.
Yeah, of course.
And he wasn't wrong. He lit the world on fire. He lit the world on fire, but then again, you know, he was there for a few months, and then since then, look at what's happened. And it's no disrespect to Triple H. You can only work with what you've got, but it hasn't been as electrifying since. You know, The Rock definitely played a massive part in that. But 2025 is going to be interesting because obviously Cena's coming back. It's going to be his last year. How long he's going to be back for is interesting because nobody has even said. All he said is it'll be my last Rumble, it'll be my last Mania. He hasn't said I'm going to retire after Mania. I'm going to retire at SummerSlam. He's just saying this is my last run.
So yes, I really want him back soon because obviously I want him to get a little run and then he can have a bit of time off and then obviously come back for the Rumble. I want to see him this side of the calendar year. Although the Crown Jewel thing could be interesting, but then will he do it? It's Saudi, isn't it? I don't think.
I know.
I don't think that was his cup of tea, was it?
I don't think it's his cup of tea, but he loves WWE so much. And the thing is with Saudis, they pay so much to WWE anyway to be there that it's pretty much all profit. I think the tickets and stuff over there are like almost free. They're so fucking cheap. But yeah, it's crazy. But the Saudis always say, like they said, we want Yokozuna. When Vince was like, well, Yoko's dead. He died years ago. Okay. Well, then you need to bring in somebody that's like Yokozuna. So they found a Japanese guy that wrestles in a sumo outfit, brought him in for one night because they were trying to please the talent. We want Goldberg. Okay, we'll bring you Goldberg. We want Braun Strowman. Okay, we'll bring you Braun Strowman. They basically got them over a barrel because the Saudis are like, well, if you want this money, you're going to do what we fucking tell you to do.
I mean, to be fair, you could probably let it go for one night over there, which obviously Crown Jewel is just a spectacle in that sense. It's just we'll give you. We're just going to put on the biggest matches that obviously have zero meaning, but we need to obviously
dream matches for people with money, isn't it? Is what it is. The Saudis have gone, okay, we're massive wrestling fans. We've never been able to have it over here. We've now got this arena where we can have it every year. We've also got the WWE experience over here because we love it so much. Who do you want to see? Okay, I want to see Undertaker versus Kane. Well, you better get me Undertaker versus Kane.
Yeah, it's literally that, isn't it? It's like your fantasy night of wrestling.
It's people playing WWE 2K24 in real life and mixing up their dream matches. That's literally all it is. And it makes for a bit of entertainment. But I want to go back to the storylines. When we go to Netflix, I want to go back to the storylines when you see like Chris Jericho calling Stephanie McMahon a hoe, and John Cena taking the piss out of Lita and saying that she's a hoe, and
or the Godfather coming down with his hoe train.
Yeah, you want to come? Yeah, exactly. You want to hear the hoe train coming down, or fucking Boogeyman coming down and eating a shit ton of worms. And you want to see all this dark ritual shit where Stephanie McMahon is hoisted on a cross above the ring because she's about to be fucking sacrificed by the Undertaker and the minions.
Oh, that was great. That was imagine your savior though being stone cold at that moment. Like, what on earth?
Of all people,
the man that literally hates authority. He comes and saves the boss's
one person. Yeah, but that's what I mean. The storylines were intense and they were allowed to push the boundaries. Like, if you look at the one storyline that always pushes the boundary for my mind is Brian Pillman with the gun, but then also Randy Orton where Triple H is handcuffed to the turnbuckle. Stephanie's out cold and he creeps up to Stephanie and looks at Triple H and then kisses Stephanie on the lips while she's out cold.
He had some mad time. Like,
and then look at Triple H. Triple H took Stephanie while she was passed out drunk and got married to her in the middle of
Like, you wouldn't get away with that shit these days.
No, not at all. No, fuck?
Like, I used to enjoy like all the boiler room segments as well, though. Like, ending up having to go. It was
APA
always like
sitting out in the back playing poker, and they've got a door in the middle of a corridor that you could just walk around, but you were made to have it open the key off the top
unless
of the
you're the Rock.
Frame. Yeah, unless you're the Rock, you could just come in. Yeah, and they're sitting there fucking drinking whiskey and smoking cigars and playing poker.
You need to get all this shit back in there. Like, it's entertainment. Like, if you're literally allowing all this shit reality TV on, like, it's like, let WWE have all of their entertainment back. Like,
exactly, like when Big Show got caught in the shower with Vicky Guerrero, like talking to Vicky Guerrero because she was having an affair behind Edge's back and shit like that. There's stuff like that I want to see.
Like Batista in the tower, and then he's got, was it Maria all over him, and the same with John Cena, like when he was always walking around with a belt
up and down him,
and you got the two, I can't remember who the two divas were now, but they were like obviously rubbing the belt, but it looked like they were rubbing him and saying, "Oh, it's so big. Oh, it's getting it's so hard."
Yes.
Like,
I know it's fucking cheesy, but that's
great.
And I know it's probably because we grew up on it. But if you look at, I think the average wrestling fan in the world at the moment would go, "That's exactly why we are looking forward to Netflix." because the possibilities of that sort of shit happening again are going to go through the fucking roof.
Who was it when Kurt Angle went in the shower and he thought he was hopping in with was it Trish or someone, and then he opened it, and
remember.
I'm sure it was the Big Show or someone in the shower naked, and obviously Kurt Angle was naked as well.
I don't remember. I'd have to go back and watch that. Exactly, and it's stuff like Mark Henry being in bed with Mae Young, you know.
And obviously Bubba Ray throwing Mae Young off of the fucking
power bombing her through a fucking table.
Brock Lesnar throwing a disabled guy down the stairs.
Yeah, and then Brock Lesnar fucking F5 in a guy that's got one leg.
that was the maddest thing, because obviously it weren't just that once though, was it? They had him on there a few times.
Yeah, they did, because there was once where Brock Lesnar actually came down and helped him because he F5'd the Big Show and then beat up Vince McMahon, and the guy did a moonsault, one-legged moonsault off the top turnbuckle and pinned the Big Show, because not only did Brock Lesnar come down, but Kurt Angle came down to help him as well.
Right. Yeah, you've got to get this shit back on there.
And do you know what I really want to see? I really want to see, and this is stupid, but I really want to see a hair versus hair match. I want to see the likes of Damian Priest versus Dom for hair versus hair. Mullet
Those were great though, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. I think the last one that I watched was Edge versus Lose. Yeah,
Vince versus Trump. Donald, didn't you?
Yeah, Vince and Trump.
Bobby versus Umaga, weren't it? That.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because then after, it wasn't long ago. They went to Italy, didn't they? And Santino Morello got caught out, and then he had his first match against Umaga, and Bobby interfered, and he won the Intercontinental Championship on his debut. I fucking love that man. Santino Morello is a legend. That man is absolutely brilliant. I don't think, other than R-Truth, that he must have been the hardest person to work with to keep a straight face in promos.
I don't know. I think that Vito's got to be up there as well, though. The guy that literally come down to every match in a dress.
Yeah,
you wouldn't get away. Well, you would actually get away with that shit these days, because you can just say, "I'm a woman."
Yeah, fucking hell! Let's not go into that. That's a whole different subject.
Again, though, like that. But then again, this that bring back what were they called? The with Stephen Richards, Godfather, Val Venus. What was that faction called? Where obviously they were just trying to cancel everything.
Oh fuck! What are they called?
Oh
shit! Yeah, because you had, what was her name in there as well? Ivory.
Yeah.
Right to Censor.
That's it. Like, yeah, literally just obviously cancelling everything. Like then you had
Right to Censor. That's funny, because Godfather and Val Venus were the two people that needed to be censored the most.
Literally, Godfather is Ho Train, and Val Venus with his
hello,
sexy.
Used to come down in the towel and shit. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
man. The two people that needed censoring more than anybody in the world.
But the funny thing was, like, obviously, this was when we was growing up as kids, and you would still see all this uncensored on a Sunday morning for the WWE Heat. Like, watching it,
or even on a Saturday morning, watching the highlights on Sky One. They'd cut out the chair shot, but they wouldn't cut out.
Yeah, you're not allowed to see people getting hit with a chair or through a table, but you're allowed to see the blood pouring down the face after, and
exactly. Or you're allowed to see Edge in the middle of the ring getting Lita naked in a bed.
Yes, fantastic.
It's crazy.
Roll on. It's not long now.
It's not. I mean, you think about it. When it was announced, it was like the beginning of the year, and everyone was like, "Fuck, it's so far away." And here we are now, right at the very beginning of September, and the year is just feels like it's just fucking shot past. You know what I mean? It's
literally
crazy.
It's coming around quick, and
there's so much possibilities with Netflix. Though Netflix is the channel for streaming services, and where they just don't give a flying fuck. And I'm hoping that because of that, we are going to get the creative side that we used to have, and the tenacity, and
that's what I'm hoping, that
matches.
obviously it's not good for some of their careers at the moment, but maybe this is why they're having
No.
to hold back on some aspects of where they want to take certain people, because they need to obviously wait for
Yeah, I mean,
Netflix
maybe.
to uncensor it a bit. I don't know. That
I
could
don't know, but
be
I mean,
an
like,
angle.
you look at, like, even when Enzo Amore come out and they debuted on Raw and Team 3D were there, the Dudley Boys. And even shit like he said to like Bubba Ray, he said your hairline's so far back because it's trying to avoid your face. Like, just little insults like that, I love, because it's just like, okay, yeah, that's the sort of shit that we want to hear.
Oh
I don't want
yeah,
to
because
hear,
it's
oh, I'm going to come down there, I'm going to kick your ass, and your daddy was a failure. No, I want to hear, well, your mum's a hoe, and I'm going to fucking stomp a mud hole in your ugly face. I'm
that
going to
was
beat you
like
with a kendo stick.
the whole point of promos back in the day. It was that you had to touch on that personal side to make the
Yeah,
match more
absolutely.
inviting, like more interesting.
Exactly.
Like,
And like The Rock, you can take this and turn it sideways and shove it up your candy ass.
Stone Cold,
Some
Kurt
of the
Angle,
promo,
like they
yeah,
always wanted to get personal
yeah.
to make the match more intensive, like to actually get the best out of each other.
I genuinely hope, because as a kid, wrestling was so good.
It was just so
And
fun.
it's become so cheesy and shit over the years. Not the wrestling per se, what's happening in the ring, but the cameos, the promos, the storylines. It's become so dull and reality TV, hyper scripted.
I get. Obviously, they have to do it because they have to go by the
The PG
guidelines and
era, yeah,
not want to
exactly.
be cancelled. But
Yeah, of course.
I don't know. Like it's just fuck
I just don't
those
think we
people.
should ever have been put in that position. Regardless, Vince. I mean, I
No.
know that it was for money. Vince signed a huge deal with the likes of ESPN and stuff, and USA Live and stuff like that, so they could get the big money rights and deals to get the major
Yeah,
airtime. But
it took the fun out
Attitude
of
Era was
wrestling,
just
though.
a different. Attitude Era was just a different level. It was a different time, and I hope we can bring that back. But some
It'll
of
be
the
some
wrestlers that we
going.
see performing today, I don't think would sit in that era. I don't think they would handle it.
No, there is quite a few that it could. They're a bit soft, aren't they, in that aspect?
Bring back bra and panties matches, please, Triple H.
Oh yeah.
Get the king to commentate. Oh, we got the puppies. We got the puppies.
Oh man, yeah, like just the stupid stuff like that, or pillow fights, weren't it? Pillow
Yeah,
fight matches,
exactly.
like
Yeah,
they just
absolutely.
always got out of hand. But
Yeah,
again, it was like it's a ratings boomer, so
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I don't know. I'm just
Not
excited
even
for that, and
I am as well, because there is so much chance of it happening. I mean, there is a chance that I could be setting myself up for disappointment. I'm hoping I'm not.
I
I'm
think we
hoping that
probably
wrestling kind of,
all are in that bucket
yeah,
because
I think so.
yeah, we're going over to an uncensored streaming service, but at the same time, there might be something in the contract that WWE can't do that.
Yeah.
So who knows? I
And
mean,
and who knows? But I mean, yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? You don't know what Netflix are going to put caveats in contract wise, or
'cause
WWE themselves might even put some caveats in.
it's obviously the biggest deal that Netflix have ever struck,
5 billion,
and
right?
it's going to be, and it's for what, 5 years, 10 years?
Yeah, I think it's 1
So,
billion a year, 5 years. I think it is 5 billion in all.
so you,
It's fucking funny.
yes, I mean, you've got 10 years worth minimum, so
Yeah,
it's going to be very interesting how they play it.
and we are only 4 months away. That's crazy, isn't it? 4 months.
Yeah, that's mad.
It's not long at all. We've only got to put up with this PG shit for a little while
And
longer.
we've got a taster of what's possibly to come with Bad Blood. So
I hope so. And the fact that the first pay-per-view, or PLE, whatever you want to fucking call it, is Royal Rumble in the Netflix era is going to be crazy.
yeah, but it's not till February.
Yeah, I know, but it's at the beginning, and it does suck because January always fucking drags because you've got Christmas and New Year. You know, most people are empty-pocketed because it's been a hard time of year and stuff, especially the average people.
Yeah, because you always look forward to the Royal Rumble on the third week,
Yeah,
but no,
exactly.
It falls in start of February.
First week of February, yeah. But then we don't have to wait too much longer after that for Backlash, not Backlash. But yeah, oh, dude, I mean, it is exciting times. I know it's not. It's so up and down at the moment, but surely the only way we can go from here is up.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah, like we just need to get. They just need to get some stories sorted and some directions.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've said this to you. I've said it to everybody. I've said it on my stream. I've said it on the podcast. I've said it everywhere. I love Adam Pearce as a GM. I love Nick Aldis as a GM. I want to bring back some old school GMs. I miss the days of the likes of Mick Foley being a GM and setting up fucking random hardcore matches in the middle of the night, going, "You've pissed me off. You're having a hardcore match."
I just miss
Teddy Long
against
the Undertaker.
Literally, if you think you're a big man, right? That's it.
Yeah,
your next opponent, the Undertaker. No matter what you've done. Yeah, Teddy, I need a match. Like
you didn't close the door when you went to the toilet. You're going to go against the Undertaker.
Oh, that was just.
Oh man,
that was great.
He was a referee, wasn't he? He was a referee for a while, Teddy Long.
That was great though. Like Teddy Long, like I tell you something, brother.
I like the fact that the GMs don't have as. Actually, that's not true. I miss the GMs having screen time when they're really good GMs. Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce are great GMs for the way that they're portrayed now. But if you're moving on to a different type of era with regards to being similar to the Attitude Era, which is what we're hoping, what we're expecting, they're not the right GMs for that side of things. You need somebody that's a bit more rough around the edges, somebody that's willing to get a bit more involved and use. They've
just got to be loose, though, haven't they? As well,
advantage. Yeah, exactly. But
in the sense of they can't be offended or annoyed by anything because they've got to give as much as they get.
Yeah, exactly that. But I mean, who would you have? Bobby Roode. He might be a pretty good GM, maybe. I don't know.
Like bring back like Bischoff.
Oh, Bischoff was crazy. Bischoff and
Heyman as two GMs again.
I can't see Heyman being a GM again, though.
Kurt Angle
he's done with Roman.
Kurt Angle would be interesting in that because obviously he's been through it all himself, so he knows.
But that's what I mean. Get people that are, old school like that have been in the position that are happy to abuse their power, but also happy to dish out matches where they're necessary and stomp out shit because people are causing shit. Because GMs now, they're like, I'm going to fine you, and they jump in front of the person and go, don't jump, and then as soon as they go to jump, they move and go, okay, jump.
Yeah, and it's always the same.
I want Austin as a GM. Whereas if you cross the line, Austin will hit you with a fucking stunner.
It's either like
none of this. I'm going to fine you 20 grand. I don't care about your fucking money. I'm going to stun your ass because you're being a dick.
You just want to see abuse of I want you want to put what was the there was a tag match, weren't there? Wasn't it like Cena and Batista against the whole roster?
Like gauntlet tag match, yeah.
Like it was basically 2 versus 40, and stuff like that. Just literally like lumberjack, bring back lumberjack matches as well.
Yes, great style of match. I love a lumberjack match. You want to get outside? No, you don't. You get back in.
because what you had, you had it like obviously when you had like Raw versus SmackDown, so you had half of
Yeah,
it Raw, half of it SmackDown, and obviously when the
exactly.
SmackDown guy fell out the Raw side, they would beat the shit out
The
of him
Raw
and throw
side
him
would
back
kick the
in,
shit out of him, and then chaos would just ensue outside because the SmackDown roster would want to back up their member, so they'd start a fight with Raw, and it would just
literally.
be absolutely mental. Yeah,
And the ref's
absolutely. I
just like,
fucking love
what the
that.
fuck is going on? Who do I even look at? What do I do? It's just like lumberjack matches were so fun.
Yeah, and so because they did it with the women as well, didn't they? Called them a lumberjill match.
Because at the
I
same
totally
time,
agree, dude.
in their matches, like if you go out the ring, you're getting chucked straight back in the ring, so you can't
Yeah,
run anywhere. Like you've got to fight in the ring, and obviously there's only one way to win, and which is
yeah,
pin or submit. Like,
exactly.
yeah, bring back some of this stuff. Like, I don't even see what's
There's
wrong with
so
a
much stuff
lumberjack
that
match, though.
I
That
don't. It's
it
not.
wasn't violent or anything. It was a
No, not at all.
standard
It was
match
just
with
you're there to guard you're there to stop them escaping. It's a way of not getting them. Yeah, I love it. I wish they had it on the games actually, so you could have a lumberjack match because it'd be great, especially for like the likes of me doing an EFED. You could have your entire roster sat on the outside while you've got two people trying to batter the shit out of each other on the inside.
So yeah,
But yeah, it's definitely going to be.
pray.
Yeah, well,
But yeah, I mean,
this is it, dude. This is it.
I'm interested to see what's going to happen Friday. Are the Bloodline going to emerge? Because obviously there wasn't a story from them from Friday, really.
Yeah, again, which is
Because
a bit
if
of a
Solo's
surprise
getting
because obviously the last
another
few
shot,
weeks. But why?
then
It makes no fucking sense.
well, the only thing I can think of is him getting another shot is that Roman or Jimmy is going to come out and fuck it up for him. Because again, he's not losing
Well,
clean.
there's a lot of news, like I said, that I saw just before we started recording tonight to say that Roman isn't going to be at Bad Blood. So if anybody's
Jimmy
coming
then.
back, it's Jimmy. If anybody's going to come back and get involved, it's Jimmy, or you're going to have the same old Kevin Owens and Randy Orton are going to come out to help Cody.
They can't do that for a third time.
They can't keep doing
it's
it.
Run
Because
its
it is just
course.
going to become tiresome.
Like, I like them both,
unless you're going to have, like you said, unless you're going to have Randy and Kevin go up for the tag team titles and give them a bit of a run to help elevate the tag team division, there's no point in doing it.
Because it's just stupid. Like, it's got to be Jimmy that comes back. It would be the pop would be insane.
I think so. The pop would be insane because it's genuine family as well. Because obviously he's related to Solo.
Hit Solo with a super kick, but on the end of his shoe would be at the top of the trash can. So he's just smacks Solo in the face with a trash can super kick, like, or
do the Van Damme,
or Cody puts him on the table and just hit him with a super fly straight through the table. Like, yeah.
If Jimmy comes out, does that bring Jay out as well? Do you think? Does
Possibly.
Jay automatically come out? Or
it could be.
If they're going to do it a different way, because obviously they had their entanglement at Mania and Jay took the win.
Is Hiko Lee going to make an appearance? Because obviously he's signed to WWE.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and he's
so
not made his appearance.
He hasn't actually been there yet. And
no, that's true.
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities for that. But yeah, and SmackDown needs to follow, and I hope there's another open challenge as well. I hope there's another open challenge.
I hope so. I like an open challenge, and the United States Championship was all about that when it was first brought out. Was
and it seems LA Knight is interested in doing it, so
he's proactive in doing it, absolutely, and I think that's good. But who comes out and challenges him next? If not, Ludwig, obviously we know for obvious reasons. Oh, hello, my arms disappeared. It's going to be the likes of Mello or Andrade, isn't it? Or they're going to come out together and they're going to smash the shit out of each other on the aisle because it's like, well, you don't deserve it, I don't deserve it,
Yeah, one comes out and then obviously the other comes out, and then LA Knight's just like, fine, let's do a triple threat, get in now, like, okay, like that's even like LA Knight's just like got no boundaries as to how far I'm willing to go to defend this title.
Absolutely that. Yeah, definitely. So a couple of days out, SmackDown, see what happens. Raw will be I just want to see a change of direction in a positive manner on Raw for the Wyatt Six.
Yeah, because they're being overshadowed by everything
Yeah.
at the moment.
Well, they're just
lost.
stagnant, aren't they? Yeah, they're just stagnant. They've been given this storyline, and they've probably been told that we're not sure how long we're going to run this for. So just do your best work you can with it. That's what it seems like. It's almost like, okay, we're going to put you in with these people, but we're not sure exactly how we're going to go about it. So we're going to give you a few weeks while we come up with the ideas in the background. So you're just going to have to do your best work you can for now.
It's gutting. No, it's a shame it's gone that way, but
so much potential.
At least there's other stories that are still taking Raw through the roof, and
absolutely,
they're not dragging, and it's not the same thing week in, week out with that. Them particular
and I think
lines.
next week they probably next week need to give the Terror Twins and Judgment Day a bit of a backstep, just so they don't overfeed us it. Do you know what I mean? So a bit like the Bloodline, give them the week off, let them have a rest. Rhea's got her bad foot. Let Jey Uso have an entanglement with Bobblehead, and one of them was pissed off with Jey because he dared
Jay's
get involved because of Priest.
Fatal that's true.
He's got the fatal four-way.
That could be the
someone's going to. I bet you Dom will get involved.
Well, yeah, because obviously
he officially was
not.
He was in
actually
it,
losing.
so he's pissed off that he's pissed off because he didn't lose it, but he's also pissed off with Jey because Jey teamed up with Priest to take on the Judgment Day. So maybe Dom comes out and causes a distraction for Jey that causes him to sidestep it. But yeah, just something like that. But don't heavily involve them all, because again, that could become something that's it's too overused very quickly,
too obvious.
And I still want to, as much as I love Liv, I still want Mummy to get that title back.
Yeah, even if you have a sidestep and Liv sort of acknowledge, or just sort of like shoves aside Rhea's claim and sort of opens a challenge to someone else to step up to sort of like put much more fuel to that fire, because then obviously it's going to piss Rhea off because of the fact that she's willing to give out a title shot
and
to
she could easily do
her.
it, because she could say, well, you had your chance at SummerSlam, I beat you, what are you going to do? So get back in the line. You had your rematch.
I mean, Priest has still got his rematch with Gunther, hasn't he?
He has, he's still got a rematch clause. But again, are they going to? I mean, normally, that's not a bad sign, because obviously, like the likes of Sammy and the likes of what they've done with Bayley and stuff in the past, is they give you the rematch like 2 nights after you lose it, so that you know instantly, okay, you've got your rematch on Monday Night Raw. You know for a fact that you're not winning it because it's on Monday Night Raw. It's 2 days after they've won it. They're not going to change hands that quickly. So the fact that he's not had it yet is a good sign, because that could mean that there is another run for Priest in the future.
Which I'm all for, because
not mad about it at all.
Priest is pushing himself that direction anyway. So
yeah, he did a good job. I'm not mad about that at all. I don't think you could be angry with that decision.
No. So it's interesting.
Yeah. So it's absolutely. It's going to be good to see where we're at next week when we meet to record on Wednesday next week, to see what's happened, what the lead up to Bad Blood is going to be. The kind of stories that are floating in the background of, is there going to be any surprises at Bad Blood? Has anything happened in between that is changing the course of where we're looking at now?
Yeah, because we're going to start to see some new story build-ups leading towards obviously the PLE. So but
well, this is the thing, and obviously the one thing that we didn't touch on is what happens now with New Day, because obviously New Day have been tied up with this New Testament and AOP. They were looking at 3-on-3 with Odyssey Jones, but Odyssey Jones has now been released because of allegations of domestic violence. So that's something else that's going to change the course over the next week or so.
I see that just being shelved now.
I think so, because he's
pushing,
a lot of people were
Cross.
saying A lot of people were
This is
saying,
so
and you
low.
said it as well, when I saw it all over Instagram. A lot of people were saying, and it made me laugh because you were the first person that said it to me, and the first comment I saw was from you saying, imagine if they rebranded him and called him they called him Bigger E.
Would have been great, wouldn't it?
It would have been
Imagine.
great. It would have been great. Yeah, absolutely. On that note, though, as always, pleasure to have everybody join us. Thank you so much for taking your time out to listen to me and JJ rant about the world of wrestling.
Yes, sir.
Always a pleasure, dudes. Great to be back in the seat and recording after a little bit of time away and
Hell
getting
yeah.
some normality back to everything. And we will be back next week and catch up with everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here at Turnbuckle Talk. Don't forget to follow us on all socials, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Is TikTok back
Not
up and
yet.
running now? Fuck. Not TikTok. Don't follow us on TikTok. JJ got us banned.
But yeah, we're
yeah.
But yeah, have a great week and enjoy SmackDown
Absolutely.
and Raw, and we'll catch up next week with it.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Peace out.